We're going to talk to Daisy, who is calling in from Washington. Daisy, you're live on Truth Wanted. What's up?
Yo, hey, what up, Ian?
Is the audio a bit cracked?
Well,
Go ahead. I think you're
can you
fixed
not hear
now.
me?
Just I can hear you now. You were something was going crazy there with the electronics, but we're good now. Go ahead.
Okay. So my question, I'm an atheist, and also I'm a trans woman, and I I know this is mainly a call-in show for the Christian people to call in, but I just wanted to ask about how there are some atheists that I used to really look up to, like Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins, and some of their opinions lately have gone so far right. Like in Sam Harris's case, like he's extremely supportive of harming people in the Middle East, and then Richard Dawkins just essentially is going along with J.K. Rowling, hating trans people and saying that they don't exist, even though, we're here. I just wanted to ask, is there a way that we can get atheist people, can atheists go too far in a wrong direction, where they're not having their same morality that can, when I listen to the show, all of you seem very morally based and all that kind of stuff. What is going on there?
I think you just gave some great examples of people going too far. I don't think you need to hear from us.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So one, this isn't just a show for Christians to call in. The title is vaguely ambiguous enough so that if you want to call in about aliens or conspiracies or whatever, this is the place to do that. So, don't think that you're not welcome here. You are. And this is a great topic to talk about because I've been in this space now for a few years and I've met some famous folks. And I've never met Sam Harris or Richard Dawkins actually, but I've met some influencers in the space, and I've met some folks that thought were one way, ended up being another, and it's really sad to see that. I can't tell you each individual person's psychology. What I can tell you is around the early 2010s, there was a general trend happening online in spaces of skepticism that was beyond just atheism, but almost sort of you can call it red pill, you can call it anti-feminist. There's a sort of a bubble of these ideas that were kind of bubbling up, and there's a lot of people smarter than me that have talked about this, and I think from that cultural trend that was happening, more and more people got influenced by these ideas. Turns out that rage baiting really works on the internet. Turns out when people are making content out there to get mad about, that brings in a lot of people. That's why notable places like libs of TikTok, right, are as popular as they are. And even mainstream politicians reference them because they're showing up in their feed because it's something for people to get mad at. So I think a lot of these influencer folks that people looked up to and were responsible for help changing their mind, I think they got caught up in that. And I think that, because they're influencers, they're seeing people fire back at them, right? And they're getting mad at that. They're thinking, oh, these people are crazy. They're not reasonable. But hey, these sort of right-wing folks, they'll listen to me. They'll, platform me. They'll get invited to all these spaces. And so I think that's partly why you see that shift, because they did become more open to folks that were quote unquote getting canceled for stuff, right? And so, there really was a cultural moment that has happened and still continues to happen because of that. And a lot of atheist influencers were a part of that. They weren't the only folks, but they definitely were a part of that. And it's sad to see. I wish I could tell you that it wasn't the case, but it is for sure.
Well, with Richard Dawkins though specifically, he's not really in the sort of influencer space anymore. He used to be. And when I read his books originally, I was an atheist from very young, since I was 12, and I read some of his books and they were very influential. And someone with a mind like that, that is so I mean, he can be a bit of a grouch, but like, it seems like someone who is just critically thinking like that. Like, how do they get to this point where they're like? I mean, I never saw him as a bigot when I was younger, and now he just seems like some of the things I've been hearing from him are just like I feel like, do you think it's his age, or is it just like he's been corrupted somehow? Like what happened there?
Oh, I think that this is like obviously like incredibly multifaceted.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said. When you are the developer of like a theory, when you come up with like some idea, you're going to see it everywhere. You're going to try to put everything into the context of your theory. I think with Richard Dawkins, like the idea of I'm sure he probably applies the idea that like being trans is like some sort of like social meme where it's just like something that like spreads all around socially, which is like just like the incorrect interpretation of it. But like similar things happen. There's a philosopher that I really respected. His name's Giorgio Agamben. And he theorized this idea that the government will like utilize like crises to like grab power or whatever. It's called like the state of exception. Like they'll suspend the laws in order to defend its like sovereignty. And he became a COVID denier because he thought that the entire thing was a state of exception. He applied his theory wrongly to a situation where it just didn't apply. And I don't know. I think that there's like something to be said about that a lot of theorists don't know when their like useful theorizing ends and where it's time for like another person to explain the phenomena because it's like clearly not related to what they think.
Yeah. Social media also. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Daisy, if you had something to say.
Oh, no, you go.
Well, I was just thinking while Ian was talking too, what social media has also made, like, I now know Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris's opinions about things that I otherwise would not have known if it weren't for the internet, right? The internet has also forced us to become an expert on a million different topics. And if you look at all of my positions and you put it out on a document somewhere, I guarantee you're going to find some stuff that's probably wrong, right? That's just what it is to be a human being. And so I think we're seeing people's wrong stuff like in real time. And we're kind of also recoiling at, wow, how could this be as many people? I get us like, well, where are all these flat earthers coming from? Why is there a rise and stuff? And I think part of it's just because these people have kind of always been there. Anti-trans rhetoric's always been there, but like there's now a space you can go to talk to other people about that, which wasn't a thing before. I really think also too, when your entire career, okay, when you're like Sam Harris is made from getting invited to speak at places, right, and to be able to have influence in space, and when you get rejected because of something you did, you're going to go to the places that accept you, and unfortunately that tends to be the not so great places, right? The ones that do have that kind of anti-rhetoric. I think there was a time where people thought that liberals and left-leaning types were pro-censorship, were censoring all these great ideas. Why weren't they open to these other times of thinking? And really, it was just grifters. It was just grifters all the way down, and it still continues to be that way. I think a lot of these thinkers just they can't objectively view themselves in the same way that you and I can't objectively view ourselves from up high there, and we're just left to sit here and wonder. But it is sad.
Maybe it's
Go ahead, Daisy.
Well, maybe Richard Dawkins went down this way because he's sort of part of the elite in England. And, like there's J.K. Rowling there and she's on her whole anti-trans kick and all this kind of stuff. And like, maybe it was because he was just in those circles that he wanted to fit in. And so like, that's why he decided like, I'm going to go.
Yeah, I can't. I tell you, I can't personally psychologize the man. What I can see is trends, material trends, and that being that right-wing spaces will take in a lot of people.
Yeah,
right?
True. Especially when they're fringe.
Right. And when somebody gets canceled for something,
It's just
they'll
so
be like,
sad.
oh, hey, come on my podcast, come on my show. Let's talk about how these people canceled you for X, Y, or Z, right? And make you feel
Yeah.
like you're a victim in the circumstance, even if you were the one that did something wrong, right? And a lot of these people have
Yeah.
done things that weren't great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of stuff there, Daisy. I don't know what to tell you. I've thought about this a lot
I
too.
won't take up too much more of your time.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think what you both said was like super helpful. And like, I think like, thank you for explaining your point of views. And like, you know, the Austin Atheist, like that was part of my deconstruction when I was 12 years old, and now I'm 33. So like, you know, I really just like have so much love for this channel and this space. And so like, just keep doing what you're doing. And like, I really hope you have a great one, and keep fighting.
Thanks, Daisy. Thank you so much.